Welcome, everyone, to this very special, shorter version of Wrestling Rewind here on the Greg Cherry YouTube channel, the home of Luck of the Draw, the home of the live streams on NoDQ. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Off the top on the...
Yes. And today is a very special day, not just because of the match we're going to watch, but today is actually the 10th anniversary of the first playing of Luck of the Draw. Which is, I mean, that's awesome. So finding out that this match, which happened to take place in Pittsburgh, happened on the same day is fantastic. And before everybody asks, I am the Pennsylvania sensation. No, I did not see this match live. Yes, I'm pissed about it still. But
and I am Jeff Meeks, the intro like I usually do. My bad, guys. But Let me preface this with two things. First of all, I'm still reeling from the news out of Stanford earlier this week.
Yeah.
The fact that Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman are in creative control, like, are we back in 1993? What the hell happened here?
Hey, you know what? If it brings quality programming to WWE, Raw and SmackDown, I'm not going to complain. We'll see what they do, and hopefully Vince lets his foot off the gas a little bit, or whatever pedal he's using. And
yeah, I'm very hopeful that the rumors persisting are true, and that it'll be very much like Triple H is in charge of NXT. That these guys will be in charge of their brands and have almost complete autonomy, except for reporting directly to Vince like Hunter does now. Because if it's like Hunter does now, and the NXT product is the way it's been, I think we're in good shape with Raw and SmackDown.
I think so too. The only problem Heyman and Bischoff are going to have is probably tying up all the loose ends before they start doing all of their stuff. They have to play with the cards that dealt first.
Because they can't go. Yeah, because they can't go April 2000 and reboot everything like they did at WCW. So
yeah, we saw how well that worked out.
Yeah, for a whole other year.
Not even.
And let me also preface by saying that I had a little bit of time today because we were going to go a few minutes before this, and there was errands to be run. So I actually sat down for the first time before we did the recording of the podcast and watched this thing the whole way through. And I'm a friggin' mess right now. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, remember, I went and saw Mick Foley's show last year, the one-man show that he did, the 20 Years of Hell tour, and watched him about as far away as my front door is from me now, relive this through the course of an hour, whatever, a 2-hour show, just relive the moments of this. It is a tough sell to get through, and that's why I kind of wanted to say, okay, let's not do a whole 3-hour pay-per-view. Try to get through this at the end and then do a first blood match after. It would just be too much. So I figured, okay, let's focus. This is the anniversary. Today's the anniversary of the pay-per-view. Today's the anniversary of the match. Let's focus on the match. And if the match goes well, maybe we can focus on matches going forward, because these 3-hour streams are a lot to put in each week. And, you know, I know people are getting bored with our constant rhetoric back and forth after 3 hours. That's a lot of Jeff and Greg time.
I mean, it kind of is, but it's still fun to watch. But we might do matches going forward, which means we might actually be able to crank out a little more frequency of these videos. So we'll see.
That'd be nice. I still want to. We already passed the 30th anniversary of all three of these, but I wanted to try to do Steamboat Flair, the trilogy, at some point, because those are just too damn good not to watch individually.
I mean, we could do that. I mean, we could. One week watch the first Flair Steamboat, the next week watch the second one, and then the third week the third one. I mean, why not watch them?
I mean, they're all anywhere between a half hour and an hour all by themselves anyway. So
yeah, there you go.
Might as well. But we will watch. We put the poll out a couple weeks ago, and we will watch King of the Ring 2002 next week. We will get through that, even though we're in July now next week. But we'll still watch King of the Ring 02, and because that actually was a pretty decent show for what it was. So,
yeah.
All right. So I've given everybody time. In case you haven't, I should have said this at the beginning of that, but you guys had time to queue it up. But WWE Network, Collections, Hell in a Cell, and it should be the second entry. It says it's called Raising the Bar. That's what we're going to be watching, because I'm not going to have you skip through 2 hours of a King of the pay-per-view on the pay-per-view section, because it just takes too long, and people are going to be all at different points. If you start at the same place, start at the same place. So there you go.
I actually might set it up that way instead of doing it off my laptop.
There you go.
That actually might be easier for me. So that way we can just watch it the same.
Well, while Greg does that, I'll give a little background on the match. Basically, this has been a feud that has been going on for off and on for over 2 years. Mankind, Mick Foley came to the WWF in 1996 and immediately made an impact by jumping the Undertaker the night after WrestleMania 12 and interrupted his match with Justin Hawk Bradshaw, JBL. And they off the races they went. They had matches at King of the Ring and at SummerSlam that year. Mankind won both. Matter of fact, our buddy Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer, turned on the Undertaker for Mankind at SummerSlam in the infamous first ever Boiler Room Brawl. And they kind of went into 97 feuding, and they had the whole Fireball incident with Paul Bearer at Revenge of the Taker, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. And then it kind of cooled off because Paul Bearer went into the program introducing Kane with the Undertaker, and Mick went into the Summer of Love and became Dude Love. And then, of course, Cactus Jack came to WWF at Madison Square Garden that September of 97. And he kind of went back and forth between Cactus, Dude Love, and Mankind off and on. And then Mick, after WrestleMania, abandoned Cactus Jack, became Dude Love again, became Vince McMahon's corporate stooge pretty much, and then lost 2 title matches to Austin. Actually, he won the first one by disqualification, technically, because Austin knocked out Vince McMahon with a steel chair, the first one was Unforgiven. And but once that cooled off and Dude Love was ultimately fired, Cactus Jack had retired, so in came Mankind. And the rumor was it was going to be another Austin and Foley match at King of the Ring, and instead they put Austin with Kane, and they paired the Undertaker and Mankind back up, and this time it was going to be in what had come to be one of the most famous matches in WWF history, the Hell in the Cell. Previously, Shawn Michaels had been in the cell with the Undertaker, won that match thanks to Kane's debut. So going into this match, Mick Foley had the bastion of good judgment, Terry Funk, with him at WWF headquarters, and we're trying to figure out how they can top what they did. And you're going to see exactly what they came up with to a certain extent. All I know for sure, because it's in Mick's book and it's on it's on his one-man show, Terry Funk jokingly said, "What if you started on top of the cell, Cactus?" And they laughed, and then Mick kind of got serious and said, "I think I can do it." So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The classic scratch logo. Are you behind?
No, I'm good. I remember the commentary. It is a perverse, vile, diabolical structure.
We also just watched it half an hour ago. So
Exactly. So yeah, it's one of those things where as much as the match delivered, the build to it was just it's intense. It's intense watching the cell come down, especially in 1998 when it only lowered officially once. He had that brief tag team skirmish, shall we say, on Raw the week before this. But it was. I love how showing the Austin Kane first blood thing. Like, this is not this match, y'all. They're playing Mankind's music now. He's getting ready to walk out, and just they're going to mention that he was born Mick Foley on Long Island, New York, and his manifestations as Cactus Jack and Dude Love are legendary, but none are more sinister or diabolical or something like that than Mankind. And just it's amazing to think back, and when you think of Mankind now, you think of the lovable Muppet that Triple H called him with Sacco and everything, but
this was
Mankind is a dark character.
This was just a few months before Sacco and
Yep.
Mick at the cage, and he's like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, and JR is mentioning here that he said he'll feel at home inside the cell, but he's not going to go inside the cell just yet. So,
man, I wish I would have been at this live. It would have been such a cool story.
yeah, I have never seen a cell match live. I've been there for a steel cage match a couple times.
I've seen
never
a
for
I've seen a cell match live. So,
yeah, who'd you see live in the cell?
Taker and Triple H.
Oh my goodness, that's right. You were at WrestleMania. I forgot about that. Wow, talk about emotional.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding.
You and I talked about that the other day.
Yeah, there goes the chair.
There goes Mick almost off the side of the cell because he couldn't. What's funny is, after the fact, they put in the footholds and the handholds.
Yeah.
So people could climb the cell.
Yeah.
This is totally off the cuff. They have no idea what they're going to do here. They're just going to do it and go for it.
Which is funny because, like, the first cell match, Taker and Shawn both got on top of the thing. So you would think.
Yeah, exactly.
One East Igloo. The good old
Jesus. The old Igloo, man. Yeah. They tore that place down, huh?
Oh, yeah. I remember driving through Pittsburgh watching, like, parts of it, like, fall off. It's like, oh, man, so many good memories in there. But, hey.
Oh. Another arena I miss.
That had to have freaked Mick out when he's on top of the cell, not really sure where he's going, and then the freaking lights go out.
That's what Lawler was saying. He's like, he's going to fall off the cell.
Was that foreshadowing much?
Right. Yeah. This I've been part of. The Undertaker entrance in an arena, not a stadium like outdoors, but in an arena, it's a whole other world than it is in a stadium. Because, yeah, you still get the effects and everything. But when you're in an arena, it's closed in, it's completely dark, except for the purple or blue, whatever it is, light. And it's just an experience.
And it gets...
And, it's funny. Mick in his book talked about getting ready to go buried alive with the Taker in October 96 and showing Percy the goose bubbles. I have goose bubbles now on my arm right now. You can't see them because my camera's shitty, but every time he walks out on TV, I get the goosebumps, man.
I get it. Well, it was the strangest thing because that Mania 28 match, when Taker's music hit, it got colder outside. I don't know how.
I understand how he does it. It's weird. The same thing happened in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl when he faced Edge. Even my dad, who does not believe in that crap, he was like, what the hell, Jeff? I'm like, I don't know.
It was a pretty hot day. So it was a pretty hot day that day, so we noticed the temperature difference real quick.
Yeah, it was warm at Mania. It was warm at Mania 24 for sure, but there was also a mist and rain in the air. There he goes. Here we go. Oh, I'm getting chills already. Now look at this. I love this. Mankind's Foley's trying to hit him. Like, you're not going to make it up here. I want you to come up here, but I'm going to knock you down. Like, come on, you know you got to start this.
I mean, I love can you blame him? It's like you wouldn't want to. It makes sense. Why would you want him to actually make it up there?
Yeah, I wouldn't want him to make it up there.
It's like, hey, you knock him off there, he falls to the concrete.
Yeah. Taker jumped to hit Foley a few times. He jumped off the side of the cell a couple times just to make sure he got the shots in. That was crazy. That's a 7 foot, 330-pound man doing that. Like, I'm not 330, but I'm not 7 foot either. If I tried that, I would die.
Yeah.
These chair shots are just wicked by Foley. Like, good grief.
I mean, I'm kind of happy watching this match and seeing all the Pittsburgh stuff around there.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Like PNC Bank, KDKA, WDVE, listen to all the stupid stuff.
Stuff. Oi! Hey, they broke the cell.
That one wasn't planned. I mean, it couldn't have been.
No. I mean, it's funny up there. Oh, it's still down. There's little bitty grips in the cell, and one of them, after we're gonna see here, it's next to the Undertaker on the floor, the top of the cell. It looks like a wishbone right there. It looks like a wishbone, like Foley lost a wishbone out of his pocket, and no more luck. Oh! God!
I think you're a couple seconds ahead of me, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
As God is my witness, he is broken in half.
You know what makes it bad for me is the replays, because you hear the crowd swell every time he flies off the cell.
Yeah.
It's just vivid. And Taker's like, that's right, I did it. And
well, you know it has to be a big deal when the heel commentator is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, King didn't say that.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
And JR's going, get somebody get out here. Really, I mean it. Like, he's like, we need help because Foley's down. Half the Spanish announce team is down.
How did his legs end up under the guardrail?
Right there. Right there. Yeah. He just kept.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, my God. Oh. I love the King of the Ring grab with the freaking guillotine.
I mean, now we see Shane McMahon jump off the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, Shane McMahon's always been a little batshit crazy.
Yeah. Which I love Shane for that anyway. There's Terry.
I do too, but he's nuts. He's absolutely great. Great. And here you got Terry Funk, who had been feuding with Mankind professionally, but personally, it's still his best friend.
Yeah.
Off goes the mask. He's like, help me. The entire referee crew is out there like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then Taker standing up there like, I don't know what to do. Just throw him off the cell.
I'm good, you know.
And then the cell raises with Taker on it.
Which freaked out Lawler big time. He was like freaking, but JR was trying to explain that they had to get the gurney back there for Mick.
Yeah.
So they had to get it back there somehow. So they had to raise the cell enough to get the stretcher past the side of the rig. Oh, they're going to show the replays again. Oh, my God. Oh! Damn.
He's got to be, like, I know it was a ridiculous fall, like an insane fall, and he hit the concrete. He's lucky he didn't hit his head off of one of those monitors. He might have. Like looking at the close-up shot, he might have, but I think he missed
it. This could have got a lot worse.
Yeah.
Like and I'll say there you go. Vince is out there. Vince, who again had also been kind of dismissed, Mankind and Do Love. Oh, here's a slow mo.
Nah, he missed the monitors. He's lucky.
Not by much. Not by much.
No.
Yeah, Vince is out there. Sarge is out there. Oh, by the way, shout out to Sergeant Slaughter for tweeting my buddy Wade Needham back the other day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Here goes the cell. And see, Vince is calling for the stretcher himself. When Vince is calling for the stretcher himself, it's like, okay, this is some serious business.
Yeah.
Vince is usually like, whatever, let's do it. But this is heavy duty here.
Okay, I wonder if they had like two different plans for this match. Like, one is the plan that they like the match part they actually went with. The two is if Mick Foley was legit knocked out, would they just end the match and that'd be it?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because he's talked about this in shows that I've seen and interviews I've seen him doing. He and I have just had talks about it. If somebody gets knocked out now, the match is over. But 21 years ago, they find a way to have the show go on, whether it's send somebody else out or do something different with the next match or just something to enhance the product. We got to remember, there's a wishbone I was talking about. See, it looks like a wishbone sitting there.
Yeah.
We needed a wishbone for Mick Foley just then. Good Lord. Yeah. Who in their right mind is going to be dissatisfied with what they just saw? Like, nobody would have ever expected the Undertaker to throw Mick Foley off the top of the helmet.
I mean, easily the biggest bump in wrestling history to this point. Easily.
It may still be. It's definitely the most famous bump to this day.
Yeah. I mean, that tops Snuka diving off the cage for me.
It does. The only stuff that was actually higher was the subsequent jumps by the cell off by Shane and Shane's fall off the Tron. Those were all taller than the cell.
Yeah.
But, remember, they padded Shane's falls off the Tron heavily. The only one that was really bad was the extended height on the cell now that Shane dove off of against Taker and against Kevin Owens.
I think there were still pads underneath the announce table.
There may have been. I have not seen that angle, so I don't know. But even still, jumping off a higher cell is not exactly the sanest of plans in your life. And now he's up. He's freaking on his feet. And he's smiling. He's laughing. He's going back up.
I mean this. I remember watching this like back in '98. I didn't really understand what I saw, and the whole thing like the hardcore-ness, if that's a word, of this match got even worse.
Yeah, because seriously, the worst part of Foley's night is about to come here. Oh, God.
Possibly it still gets worse after this.
Oh, God. Oh.
I've taken back the ring. I've never taken a straight back bump from 15 feet up.
And you got to remember, Foley said this multiple times. If he had taken the chokeslam properly and left his feet and rotated properly, he'd be dead. He would have been freaking dead.
Yeah.
And plus, the chair came down and knocked his tooth out. So.
But it leads to a classic shot, at least.
Oh, trust me, we're going to get to that in a second. Taker with a broken foot jumps into the cell like, all right, Hebner ran for his life.
I was going to say, you should pause like real quick and start so we're like at the same time.
Okay.
Because you're a couple seconds ahead of me. I'm punching Terry Funk in the face.
Okay. Choke slam up and down.
Poor Terry Funk.
Terry Funk was choked him out of his shoes.
Yep.
Literally and figuratively. Oh, now it's on the replay. Yeah. Watch the chair. Whack. Oh.
He hit the back of his head. Did like the what? Leg of the chair hit him in the mouth.
Yeah. The leg of the chair hit him square in the mush. Watch this. This is so sad. Oh. Nothing behind that cell whatsoever. Just crumpled like a heap.
And then they wrestled the entire match with part of the roof hanging.
Taker just leaned over and go home, Jack, and Foley said, "No, I got this." And they're still going to work for at least another 10 minutes here. This is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here comes the classic shot here in a second. There goes Taker. Foley collapses into the corner. They're locking him inside the cell.
Probably for their safety.
There it is. Oh, man. What's funny is he's not actually smiling here. I don't know if you have seen, because they actually aired one of the live shows on the network last year.
Yeah.
But basically, what he was trying to do was there was a hole right about here in his lip.
Yeah.
He was trying to get his tongue to stick out of that hole and wriggle, which would make for compelling television, which shows you how sick bastard Mick Foley is.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it ended up, there was so much blood and stuff in his face that it looked like a smile. There you go. Watch this. He tries to pick up the stairs, and his shoulder's like, nope, can't do it. Sorry.
So take, yeah.
Get away, Foley. I got this. Give me that damn thing. Then he throws it into the bad shoulder. Just to screw it up even more.
Why not?
Sure he did anyway. Actuate it. Jeez. And poor Tim White lived through this match as the referee. God bless Timmy White. Didn't make it through the Jericho Triple H match though.
The trivia match I did for Mark World Order, which that podcast is available wherever you can buy podcasts, or just Google search it, whatever. This was actually one of the questions. It's like, at which event did this match happen? And I'm like, holy crap! You want to talk about a freaking softballer?
Gimme, here's a gimme there for you. Yeah, the good old King of the Ring. It's funny. For some reason, I don't know if it was like fait accompli or kismet or whatever. Right after I added this show to my watch list to make sure because we were watching the whole show at one point. I mentioned that earlier. We were going to watch the whole show. I ended up signing up for Impact Plus, which is Impact Wrestling's version of the WWE Network, pretty much.
Yeah.
Their first show of TNA's history is the Asylum show, or actually the one in Huntsville, Alabama, and Ken Shamrock, who became King of the Ring this night, wins the world's title on that night. So, pretty Ken Shamrock heavy there for a while on my view list.
It was an entertaining gauntlet match too. If you've never seen it.
It was one of those things where you wouldn't expect something so good so quickly out of a post WWE era wrestling company, but it was good. Oh,
holy pile driver!
The good old stump pile driver by Mick Foley.
And then like Mick Foley, who has flown off the cell and gotten chokeslammed through the cell, nearly picks up the victory.
Yeah. And he's still throwing these punches like legitimate Terry Funk punches. Like he can still function as a human being at this point.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is just out. This just makes my head cringe. Like, oh Lord.
Can I borrow you for a minute?
I have to pause here 1 second.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay.
I'll keep it recording. I'll edit it.
That's all right. I'll keep the folks entertained. It's all good. Well, yeah, right now, I don't know where you guys paused it. Hopefully, you paused it when we did. Yeah, it's brutal to watch. Definitely brutal to watch. Taker's busted wide open on his forehead. Foley's busted up internally. It's just, it's not pretty. Not pretty. I think we're going to edit this out. Yeah, vicious hangnail. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, I'm just going to have Greg edit this out. And if not, then we'll just keep it as is, and we'll just let the viewers do what they will with it. Hopefully, you pause it. Where I've got it paused is Taker is looking like down at the top of the back of Foley's head with his bloody forehead facing the screen. Tim White's bent down behind both of them, and you can see a little bit of the leg of the steel chair on the right-hand side of the screen. So hopefully, you guys paused it there when we did. If not, we'll do this another time. Anyway. So yeah, next week we're going to do King of Ring 02. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the Steamboat Flair matches to the queue because I love those matches so much. And I know they're easily accessible on the network. The Clash match is hard because it used to be in the greatest matches list and now it's not. And I think the Chi-Town Rumble match used to be in that collection and now there is no of that collection. I have it saved on my watch list, but you can't find it unless you look. So I will try to put a link up to because that's the first one is the Chicago match. Chi-Town Rumble. So hopefully I can find the link to it and get it queued up for you guys for 2 weeks from now. Like I said, we'll do King of the Ring next week, 2002. Lesnar, I think, becomes King of the Ring in that show. You've got Undertaker versus Triple H for the Undisputed title. The Rock's involved in that. As far as going into Vengeance the following month, which of course is July. RVD's in the tournament. Jericho's in the tournament. I think Tess is in the tournament match. Let me go ahead and get the card up here while I have apparently a moment in time. And yep, not long. I type so fast it doesn't want to do it itself. Come on, there we go. All right, so that was a heat match. You had RVD and Jericho, Lesnar and Test in the tournament. You had Jamie Noble versus Nydia for the Cruiserweight title. Ric Flair versus Eddie Guerrero. Molly Holly versus Trish for the women's title. Oh, I forgot Angle versus Hogan was on this show. Actually, a pretty good match for a Hogan match, but of course it's Kurt Angle. So there you go. Am I over here? I'm over here, aren't I? Yeah, okay. Angle versus Triple H. Angle versus Hogan, excuse me. The King of the Ring finals with the winner faces the champion at SummerSlam. So there you go. And Undertaker versus Triple H. Undertaker going in as the Undisputed Champion. Undertaker Triple H goes 23, almost 24 minutes. So that's interesting. Yeah, the shortest match is the women's match. So it'll be, and then if you, I don't know if it's on the network yet, but on Heat from June 23rd, 2002, Hardy's faced Raven and Steven Richards. So I'll watch that. There you go. That'll be next week's show, anyway. RVD, Jericho, Lesnar, Test, Noble, Hurricane, Flair, Guerrero, Molly, Trish, Angle, Hogan, the King of the Ring finals, and then Taker, Triple H for the Undisputed title. That's next week's show. I've been trying to talk as best I can, Greg. Hopefully we can keep me entertained while you're on pause.
What's up?
Hopefully they pause and we pause.
Well, I'm going to try and edit it, unless you just want to start the match over. But,
nah. All right. It'll be all right.
Yep, that's it.
I tried to tell him where I paused it was when Taker and all three of them were down. Like the side of Taker's face was like against the screen, and the chair was barely in the shot, but it was there. So hopefully that's where we are. If not, then they can rewind and play catch up later as we talk.
Double arm DDT.
I love Cactus's short stump DDTs and pile drivers. It was always classic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Now he's going for the toys.
As if going through the cell and stuff wasn't enough. He looks like he's been shot.
Yeah.
Looks like he's been shot in a car wreck.
Yeah. Absolutely absurd. And then, look at that. And then I love this. They show this close-up of the tacks right here, and Lawler's just like, Look at all those tacks. Oh, my God.
I think
he stepped on them. Like, whatever.
This was definitely the first match I ever saw thumbtacks used.
This is the first time it was used on WWF TV. They used it in ECW, but never in the WWF. So there you go.
Like I said, I wasn't a big ECW, like original ECW guy, so this was the first time I saw him used.
Probably the first time I saw it, too, because I didn't watch a lot of early ECW until 99 myself. I've watched it since, of course, thanks to the good old WWE Network, for only $9.99. But, Animal Claw. Oh. Probably the most devastating move to the Undertaker outside of the F5.
Yeah.
And the spear by Roman Reigns, of course. You know. So while we got a rest hold here, I was going over the card for next week's show. We actually got a pretty good pay-per-view to watch next week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm excited to watch Angle Hogan.
I forgot about Hogan. I forgot until I saw, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. Triple H and Taker for the title. You got the King of Rage.
Good. Yeah, RD Jericho's pretty good. Lesnar Test is okay. The finals is a pretty good match, even though it's short.
Well, it's
Noble Hurricane is pretty good. Flair and Guerrero. Here we go. Now, what's funny is he misses, but it doesn't matter. He rolls right in it. Oh. A human pincushion, for God's sake. Oh. It's vicious. He is staggering like he is either punch drunk or been shot, like you said.
And then he's going to go right back into him.
Right back into it again. God, that's the worst one of all. Just full-on back bump into the pile of tacks. That's just obscene.
This is one of the most memorable matches, but they really didn't do a whole lot of spots, if you think about it.
They didn't. I took a tombstone him in the tack. I was like, oh, God, please don't. And he didn't. Triple H pedigreed him in the tacks later.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Oh, my God. I would never take that bump. It's like, what one of those freaking tacks goes in my eye? It's like,
Yeah.
Pass.
Well,
hard pass.
They showed a Cactus after that match. There was a tack like right here. Like, no, I'm not going to lose my eye over a wrestling match. I'm good, thanks. Like, I get Mick's need to go out on a big note, and that should have been his last match, like he talked about. But I'm not losing an eye going out. It's not happening. It's not happening.
That wasn't even his last match because he did the Hell in a Cell a month later.
Right, but the Rumble was the original plan, was for him to be the last match. That was supposed to be his swan song, and then Vince talked him into Hell in a Cell. So there you go.
And then WrestleMania.
Well, Mania was more of a you really earned this main event, and even Mick was like, I already retired, and they're like, come on, nobody really retires, come on. So, God, look, he's just a mess.
Imagine the EMT guy having to walk over all that stuff.
Crazy. Jack Dolan, who was like 15 here.
Yeah.
His virgin eyes hadn't seen that before. Damn. What's funny is Kyoto's going to walk over there. There's Kyoto there.
Yeah.
Mick's going to ask Kyoto. He's going to he's covering his face here. And he's asking Mike Kyoto, have I already been on a stretcher tonight once? And Kyoto's going to tell him, yes, Jack, you did. He goes, I can't be on a stretcher twice in one night. So he makes them get him up and carry him, like shoulder him out of the ring and out of the cell. He can't explain what the pride was of, it wasn't like some fatherly teachings like, son, you can't be on a stretcher twice in one night. That's just not manly. He just couldn't do it. Will you stop showing the damn throw off the cell, for the love of God? Oh. That table just crumpled.
And there goes. He's lucky that wasn't the ring in '95, which I remember being like stiff as hell.
Actually, he was saying this ring is stiffer than they actually unstiffened it a year later, which hastened his retirement.
Huh.
Because they made the ring because of the bumps he took in this match, they made the ring bouncier, and it just tore his knees to shit.
Weird.
Because he was actually going to retire prior to Survivor Series '99, and of course, we all remember Survivor Series '99. Stone Cold thought was going to have to retire, so he's like, part of it was he couldn't have two top stars go at the same time. Part of it was Mick's own pride going, nobody's going to give a shit if I retire, if Stone Cold retires. So. My goodness, Sarge lost his hair in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, he probably shaved it because he didn't want the
Right.
horseshoe.
Like 6 people talking to him. What's funny is Foley looks at Kyoto. I think it's Kyoto at some point on the walk up and goes, as he has tack sticking out of his body. Did I use tack there tonight? Yes, Jack, you did. Yes, Jack, you did.
You know what Foley match we'll have to watch again at some point? And you might shake your head at it, but it's such a good match. The Rock and him in the I Quit.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. I don't know if I can. As brutal as this was, that match was just sick.
Yeah.
That I Quit match was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. It just
slow-mo again.
Oh, God. That should be it. Yeah, that's it. All right. Trying to queue up the next Hell in a Cell match. No, we're good. No more right now. So, sorry for the pause in between, guys. Hopefully you were entertained by that. I know we had a pause there, and if you want to fast forward.
I have to explain. I'm sure people wonder why the pause happened. For those of you watching on Friday, if this in fact gets up on Friday, I'm doing my 10th anniversary game of Luck of the Draw tomorrow. So Jen's doing a ton of food preparation, which all of it's freaking delicious. So
in people's faces. So there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All of the game stuff, I don't know if you can see any of it, but you might see that bag in the background, the blue bag. That's full of stuff for me to dump on people's heads. But it's going to be an epic game. It's going to be up on this channel too, so check it out when it's up. And I'm hoping to get the no DQ game of this done too, because that's going to be over Skype, and that's going to be an interesting one. But,
well, there's always SummerSlam weekend for those of you guys who are going to SummerSlam. Are you and Jen still going to SummerSlam? Or
no, we can't afford it. We were going to, but stuff happened with work. We lost our overtime there, so we couldn't catch up.
Well, make a plan now, because I said this in a private chat with you and with the No DQ crew. WrestleMania is going to be here in 2 years, in theory. So we can have Luck of the Draw West Coast version.
There you go. We can try and plan on that, and hopefully I won't spend a year and a half obsessing about it, because I tend to do that. But if we could get a no DQ game of that going, that'd be cool. Like you, Aaron, Virtue, Caitlin, the other Aaron, just do all that.
Well, luckily we're pretty split, because Cindy and Kyle and myself and are on the West Coast, and a lot of you guys are Midwest or East, but you'll come West for Mania. So
yeah. I know Cindy plays. She wants to play the online versions.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that'll do it. Thank you all for the brief stopover on the Greg Cherry YouTube channel. Look at the draw tomorrow. It's going to be recorded, so look out for that. And next week, King of the Ring 02. It is a 3-hour show, but it's a pretty fun 3 hours. I remember looking back at it now. I look at the card, actually, it's a pretty decent show. So it'll be fun to watch it back again. I'm not seeing Kurt Angle Hulk Hogan, I think, since it was first on pay-per-view. So there you go.
Should be a good show.
All right, we will see you guys next week on Wrestling Rewind.